Tell the truth.
Welcome to the
Hi, I'm Cookie.
And I'm Barry.
And we're from On Street Solutions. We build apps to make.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is
Welcome to
power.
the Information Man Show. The Information Man.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
It is power. It is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
These YouTube streets.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
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 What's up, everybody? Peace. I want to say peace to everybody that has shown up tonight. I'm not going to keep you long tonight, but I am going to make some strong points. I'm going to make some points that people are either going to agree with, disagree with, may like, may not like, but I'm going to make these points. And it's very important. I'm not going to do a stream where I'm going to cry and whine and say, why this white man don't like us? Instead, I'll be honest with you, everybody. And if you can hear me, put a 7 in the chat room to make sure that my mic is working, crispy. You can hear me. Everything is coming out just clear. Put a 7 in the chat room, as I want to make sure that you are hearing me. Thank you, Mike B, for that. I appreciate that, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, why are we surprised by what this man said, and why are we upset? I'm going to be honest with you. I want to know who my racist is. I want to know who's racist, people that are in the public eye. This man has been in cartooning with the Dilbert cartoon for over 36 years. And he's made a lot of money from all the syndication. All these newspapers across the country have put money in his pocket. And like Jason Black said on his stream, when you're white, you have the complexion for the protection, and when you white, you have white privilege. You don't even have to have as much talent than other people. If you're white, you have the connections, you get in the front door. His cartoon strip isn't nothing special. How many of you in the chat room are even familiar with this cartoon strip? Put a 1 in the chat room if you are familiar with the Dilbert comic strip. It is a comic strip that's based on scenarios that happen in the office at work. But I don't see anything that's spectacular about it, the artwork, anything of that nature. This man has made millions of dollars. So when he has now been taken down, we got a lot of ones in there. Empress Queen, Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Mind's Eye is here. Hankerson is here. Thank you for being here. All of you. Jamma is back in the house. It's so good to see you here. I got to give you a clap. Alicia is in the house. Earl Owens, great to see you here. Last Call, Deborah Guns. Love to see all of the regular folks that support this channel over here tonight with this content. You see the comic strip here. I don't want anybody to say, oh, I don't want anybody up there to feel sorry for what happened to Scott Adams, because he's made millions of dollars. About 300, ladies and gentlemen, 300, should I say, about 300 newspapers have dropped him in syndication. Now you say, okay, he's lost a lot of money, but he's also earned a lot of money. This man's not going to be in the poorhouse. This man is probably doing very well. He's probably invested his money in many things. I just simply look at it like this, ladies and gentlemen. He was simply speaking his mind and saying a lot of things that white folks like himself really believe and feel. He just spoke his mind. And this is a man who tried to pull a Shaun King. He tried to do a transracial thing and claimed that he was black, claimed that he was on the good side. And you ask yourself, okay, did he do some things? He was a supporter of Black Lives Matter. And we know that Black Lives Matter is a big fat fraud. So he gets up on interview shows, which I'm going to show you tonight, claiming that he can be black. He can choose to be black if he wants. We got folks like this, the liberals. Now, I'm telling you right now, this man is actually a liberal. a liberal, a Democratic liberal. And we shouldn't be upset at Scott Adams. We should thank Scott Adams for telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
What do I mean by that? Telling the truth about his interpersonal racism. Coming out and being honest about how he really feels about black people. Now, those of you out on the YouTube streets that have jumped out the window, of course, you got Negroes on YouTube that'll criticize you, tell you what type of content nobody's going to tell me what to do on my channel. What content to do. Who the damn well interview. I do whatever I want. See, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. Content creators create content, give you a production, give you a show, give you solutions. YouTubers just hide behind avatars and do a lot of talking and yapping and beefing with other people. I ain't got time for that. I'm a grown 53-year-old man. This is content tonight. This man right here is a liberal and tries to play the game that he likes black people, that he was with the black thing, that I'm with black people. I'm even black myself. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that these liberals are just as racist as your Republican right wing, or what I would call your Republican Klan. The Democrats are just as bad as the Republican Klan. The liberals are some of the most racist, the most bigoted, if not the most, because they think that they know us. They think that they can adapt us like we're little kids, like we're some type of adaptable people, that we're their little pets that they can pet on their head and say, hey, I got a few black friends here, a few black friends there. Let me go to the video. I want you all to see this. I want to go to the video and I want y'all to see this. The first video of this man. This man has been in the business of cartooning for 36 years, claims that he's so much of an advocate for black people, that he loved black people, that he done so much for black people, that he's also has the audacity to say that he's black himself. Let's examine what this man said. And ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all in the chat room, but let's examine it. Let's understand the conclusions, the realities of what this man say. Exhibit A, first video. We're going to let it play through. This is fair use for commentary, criticism, education. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this.
Well, Rasmussen poll had a provocative little poll today. They said, do you agree or disagree with the statement, it's okay to be white? That was an actual question. Rasmussen asked, white and black voters, and probably others, do you disagree?
Now, the first thing he should have asked himself as a white man is, why is white people asking that question? Why is your people, Scott Adams, your people, white people, black people didn't come up with this poll, which, by the way, is a biased poll, ladies and gentlemen. It was a poll run by Rasmussen, a Republican right-wing poll service, and they have been discredited as not a legitimate poll. Why? He's going to say that that's the question that they asked, and he's going to try to say it's not me being racist. He's going to try to pass it off on the poll. But then if the poll don't sound right, why are you reading it since you claim you're a black person? You're going to hear this tonight. Oh, I've got juicy video for you. You're going to claim that you're black, and you're going to read off a poll that white people came up with, which is a kind of goofy question that they're asking, but he want to flip it on black people. Listen to this nonsense.
That was an actual question. Rasmussen asked, white and black voters, and probably others, do you disagree or agree with the statement, it's okay to be white? 26% of blacks said no. It's not okay to be white. 21% weren't sure. Add them together, that is 47% of black respondents were not willing to say it's okay to be white. That's like a real poll. This just happened. Did you?
Tell the truth.
Let me let you all know something. It's not a real poll. This is what they did, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read this to you. The survey of 1,000 American adults was conducted on February 13 through 15th, 2023 by Rasmussen Reports. The margin of sampling error is a plus minus 3 percentage points with 95% level of confidence, field work for all. Now, let me also show you something else. This poll has been discredited. Rasmussen polls were biased and incorrect. Survey USA performed strongly. Every election cycle has its winners and losers, not just among the candidates, but also this is a political poll, ladies and gentlemen. The right wings pushing out their narratives and their propaganda. Now, this is what he failed to show you. Why he puts this on here, Black Americans only, it's okay to be white. What did he fail to tell you, ladies and gentlemen? He focused on the 26% that disagreed, 21% saying not sure, meaning it probably was a dumb question to that 21% that are saying it's a dumb question. And we don't even know what's the age range of the people that were polled, what part of the country were they polled, what's the social economic background of the individuals that were polled. You dig what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
We don't know what the social economic background of the individuals that were polled. We don't know the age. We know the race according to them. But what he also failed to do, ladies and gentlemen, on this poll, and let me put this back up here for you to see, is that it was 53% of black people that said it was okay to be white. He picks out the 26% and then turns around and says that's a hate group. So black people are a hate group, so white people stay away from us. Stay away from black people. Ladies and gentlemen, for as long as I've been alive, for my 53 years of life, black people in America have been trying to be left alone from white people. We've been wanting you to leave us alone. Everywhere we move, we had Rosewood, you burned that. We had Tulsa, Oklahoma. You had to come messing with us. Every time black people in this society are minding our own damn business, you can't stay away from us.
Tell the truth.
And you're talking about a poll, a political poll done by a poll that's done by a right-wing outfit that isn't even respected in the world of polls. Nobody uses this poll, this Rasmussen poll, in any channels. It is not a well-respected poll. How many people are going to tell you about this story in this way tonight, ladies and gentlemen? It's not a respected poll. It's an illegitimate poll that was biased. 1,000 people were surveyed. We don't even know where part of the world they come from. We don't even know if they really polled real black people. He picks out the 26%, but fails to tell you about the 53% who said it was okay to be white. So he tells white people to stay away from us. Guess what? I've got no problem with that. I say hip, hip, hooray. If you want to stay away from us, go ahead and do that. We've been wanting to be left alone since the hell we came out of slavery into Reconstruction. We've been wanting to be left alone. Can I get a witness in the chat room? Hit a 7 if you agree with me. We've been wanting to be left alone. I'm not going to sit up here and cry and say, oh, this white man said that white people should stay away from us. For the most part, black people have been segregated in this country anyway. Detroit, Oakland. Of course, when we're segregated in these urban settings, Philadelphia, DC, and we create our own culture and our own communities, then what do? You want to come in and you want to gentrify our communities, move in our communities. You want to signify what we see it. We got it on YouTube. We got white folks on YouTube who want to be on our panels, hanging out with us, involved in our conversations, trying to give us advice. We got black folks on YouTube getting on panels, debating white folks over the reparations. It makes me laugh. Not legitimate. But if you think I'm going to sit up here and cry a river of tears and be like, why you say that white people should stay away from us? Every time we've been put in segregation in this country, white people can't seem to leave us alone. If a black man is running down the street, a black woman is in her home, we're eating, we're jogging, we're barbecuing, they can't leave us alone. Remember in Oakland, California, they were barbecuing and you had that Karen who couldn't leave black people. Leave us alone. If you want to tell your white brethren to stay away from us, go right ahead. Because we've been asking to be left alone any damn way. I'm not going to cry a river. Oh, no. If y'all thought that I was going to sit up here and say, oh, why did he say that? No. We need to have more white people like Scott Adams, who pretends to be a liberal, pretends to act like he likes black people, and even claim he's black himself. Let him tell the truth and shame the damn devil. Let's get back to it. Oh, let's get back to it.
Any idea? Would you have imagined that could have happened? So I realized, as you know, I've been identifying as black for a while, years now.
Did you hear that?
I like to be on.
Did you hear that? I've been identifying as white for a long time. What does Jason Black always teach us on his broadcast? What is that term? I'm white and I say so. So white, here's a white guy who tells white people to stay the hell away from black people because of a poll in which 26% of black people that don't even represent all of black people in the world said that it's not good to be white, while 53% of black people, a majority of that number, said that it's okay to be white. But he doesn't focus on that, the so-called black man or white man who wants to tell me and you that he's been black a long time. Listen to this nonsense again.
Did you have any idea? Would you have imagined that could have happened? So I realized, as you know, I've been identifying as black for a while.
How can he identify as being black? What is this called, ladies and gentlemen? It's called, what's the term for it? It's called transracial, right? Sean King pulled this off. And what's sad, and then you had that Rachel Delavar, or whatever the hell her name, who was a part of the NAACP. She's still running around on OnlyFans, very sadly. She's still running around claiming to be black. So now we have white people identifying themselves as black. So if he's identifying himself as black, then why would he sit up there and get upset over that poll if he identifies with being black and then tell white people to stay the hell away from us and F away from us? But yet he's claiming that he's a black man, that he's been identifying as black. You see what's going on today? Tricks are for kids, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't tricking none of us. We got white folks like this who claim to be liberal, claim that they're for black people. And he's saying, I've been black identifying. We know he's not black, but this is the white supremacy. This is the game that they play. Let's hear the rest of this all the way through.
Did you have any idea? Would you have imagined that could have happened? So I realized, as you know, I've been identifying as black for a while, years now, because I like to be on the winning team, and I like to help. And I always thought, well, if you help the black community, that's sort of the biggest lever. You know, you can find the biggest benefit.
So he thinks because he's trying to help the black community and that he wants to be on a winning team, that he can say whatever he wants to say about black folks now. See, this is what you call the white privilege. This is what you call the white supremacy, subliminal. This is called, I'm going to start using the word white nationalism, because there's nothing supreme about white folks like this at all. They're not supreme to us. But this is white nationalism. This is what you get in your Make America Great Again mantra that's been going around here lately in the world. This is what you get out of it. White people, ever since Trump became president, have felt more and more comfortable with really telling you how they really feel. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I don't mind. Keep telling us how you really feel, because it's good to know who our enemies are. It's good to know who are the opposers, who are the wolves in sheep clothing who say that they're black. How funny is that? And this is what you get. And I'm trying to pull this up right now. Give me a minute. I want to play this for you, if I can find it. Give me 1 minute. Let me just play this sound bite for you. This is what you get. Now, I know some of you out there like Trump, but this is the manifestation of that, because he's speaking his mind. But we should want this as black people in America. We should want to know the truth.
Tell the truth.
We should want people like this to tell us how they really feel. Because living in, like, let's say you live in California, the difference between living in the West Coast versus in the South is that racists in the South tell you in your face, I don't like you, I don't like black people, stay away from me. Great, I know where I stand and I know how you feel, fantastic. But when you live in the western part of the country or more liberal parts of the country, you have white people like Scott Adams that smile on your face and say that they are black and they're do-gooders for the black community. But then at the same time, they'll say racist things, and I got some stuff to show you. So the manifestation comes out of the dog whistle. Here's that dog whistle.
We will make America great again.
You see what I'm saying? Let's hear some more.
I thought, well, that's the hardest thing and the biggest benefit. So I'd like to focus a lot of my life resources in helping black Americans. So much so that I started identifying as black to just be on the team I was helping.
Identifying yourself as black. Ladies and gentlemen, put a 7 in the chat room or a 1. Does this man look like a black man? I know I'm asking a silly question, but let's vote on it. Does anything about him looks like a soul brother? Is Scott Adams a soul brother number 1? That's right, Mike B. Hell. I'm going to say it again. Hell to the no. Does he look like a soul brother? Jill's Chocolate Boutique. Earl Owens, is he a soul brother number 1? Let's continue to hear.
But it turns out that nearly half of that team doesn't think I'm okay to be white. Which is, of course, why I identified as black, so I could be on the winning team for a while. But I have to say,
you notice what he keeps doing, which is typical of these type of white nationalists, these type of haters, and these liberals. He keeps repeating over and over again, I'm black. I've been identifying as black because I want to be on a winning team. And then he acts like this poll is a representation. Let me show you again. He acts like this poll that's been discredited already, that this poll represents all of black people. If black people are 13% of the population, 1,000 people were polled. If 1,000 people were polled, how many black people do you think actually answered this question and what part of the country? Where he fails to execute is the 53%. That means there were more black people who agreed that it was okay to be white than there were black people at 26% and 21% of black people not sure. Black people can be racist too. 76% agreed, 27% disagreed, 8% not sure. Now that was in this poll. Check this out. I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to say this for the cheap seats. I'm going to say this for the high water seats. And this is the damn truth.
Tell the truth.
Racism is about power and dynamics and economic dynamics. Black people do not have the power to execute power dynamics or economic dynamics over white people. What am I saying here? What am I really trying to say to you? As you see this filthy individual right here. What am I really saying, ladies and gentlemen? What I'm really saying to you is that racism equals power in economics. There's two differences. There's prejudice and then there's racism. Prejudice means that you cannot like someone because of the color of their skin, their clothing that they have on. You cannot like them, and that can be prejudice. Racism is a power dynamic, meaning white people not only have the ability to say, I don't like black people, but they also have the ability to say, I'm going to keep black people out of housing. I'm going to keep black people out of education. I'm going to redline you. I'm going to make sure I put you on the worst land. We're going to put freeways to your community so that we can destroy your community like they did Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they were trying to come back from what they did to them in the 1920s. Right? We know about this. Redlining. Power dynamic is keeping black people out of buying homes. When you are a black, remember there was a white and black couple, black woman, white man that were married. She had pictures of her black family in the house, her biracial kids. And when they were trying to sell the house, all the white potential buyers did not want to bid on the home. Matter of fact, they gave him a low bid and didn't even bid. As soon as they took all the black pictures out of the house and put all the white pictures in the house, his grandmother and so on and so forth, they were able to sell the house. Right? Now, black people, white people, when it comes to getting a loan for expanding your business, white people are turned down at 25%. I think black people are turned down at 52%. So racism is about institutional control. I don't like black people, so I'm going to make sure they don't go to school with me. I don't like black people, so I'm going to make sure they don't get hired on the job. I don't like black people, so let me make sure that I don't give them the best health care. Let me make sure I put environmental racism in their community, such as the pests and all kind of environmental hazards in their community. That's institutionalized racism equals power in economics. What did Neely Fuller say? White supremacists or white nationalists control what? They control religion, sex, economics, right? Labor. Now I'm sounding like Neely Fuller Jr. Let me get my Neely Fuller Jr. on. White people that are in control of this country control economics, labor, sex, religion. They control the military. They control the financial structures. If you do not understand what racism, white supremacy is, everything you think you know about racism will only confuse you. Getting my Neely Fuller Jr. on. That's racism. Now, let's take a test in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Do black people possess any controls of institutions in this society to keep white people out of economics, out of housing, out of education? Where in history did black people not liking white people added up to white people losing out economically, socially in this country? Last time I checked, they control all institutions of economics. They control the military, even though black people have gone to the military and gotten our heads blown off. No, we do not. That's right. We do not. So what he's saying is a bunch of hogwash. Hear it again.
This is the first political poll that ever changed my activities. I don't know that that's ever happened before. You know, normally you see a poll, you just look at it and you go, whatever. You know, oh, this is interesting what other people think. But as of today, I'm going to re-identify as white because I don't want to be a member of a hate group.
Now, this is what's dumb. I'm going to re-identify. You already were white, Scott Adams. You never was a soul brother number one. See, you see how they can slip in and out of the bullshit. First, he says, I identify with being black. I'm black because I want to be on a winning team. A poll comes out, which is a discredited poll, which is a biased poll by the right wing, saying that 26% of black people feel that white people being white is not a good thing. While he marginalizes the 53% of black people who said, hey, ain't no problem about it. And now he says, I'm jumping off the black team as a black man, and I'm going back to being white, which you were already white, Scott Adams. Look at that. You can't get any white than that. Is there anything about him that identifies? He wants to identify. So now we're living in a new age where these liberal white folks who think they know black people better than we know ourselves want to slip in and out of being black, identifying and going back to white society when they're disenchanted with what they think we think of them. Even though for over 400 and 500 years they have harmed our women, they have deleted us, hung us, they have redlined us, they have Ku Klux Klanned us. And now one little poll comes out that ain't even a legitimate poll, and now he says, I want to go back. We never asked you, Scott Adams, to claim to be black, and we never asked you to come and help us. We don't need you, and those white people that feel like you can go away from us because we've been asking to be left alone. Haven't we, black folks in the chat room? Hit those damn ones if you agree with me. We've been asking for you to leave us alone any damn way. I appreciate all of you in the chat room. To a clap to you. We've been asking you to leave us alone, just like Michael Jackson said, leave me alone. But they can't leave us alone because, ladies and gentlemen, they see us as their property. They're never going to leave us alone. They don't want to leave us alone. They need us. They want us. They love us to entertain them. They love us to dance. They love us to play sports, baseball, football, whatever it is. Dance, sing, shake our butt, twerk, whatever the degenerate stuff that you see some black people doing on social media, Instagram, making just jackasses of ourselves. They love that. They want that. And we feed into that over and over and over again with the BS. Listen to the rest of this.
I'd accidentally joined a hate group. So if nearly.
So now he's defining black people, all 13% of us, and don't be fooled by that. Black people are not 13% of the black population. We are a hell of a more of that. I was thinking about this the other day, ladies and gentlemen. If black people were 13% of the population, how can we be 13% of the population only when white birth rates have declined while black birth rates have still gone up, even though we've had situations where there's been abortions within the black community, which I think is not good. White birth rates have gone down, which means white people are not reproducing themselves at high numbers. So if that's true and their numbers are going down, shouldn't black people's numbers go up slightly simply because we are reproducing more children than they are? We've been told a bill of goods, a bill of lies to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
But he says he joined a terrorist racist group. Last time I checked, black people don't have any history of going into the households of white people, deleting them, harming their children, their wives. We have no history of hanging white people up on trees. We have no history of creating clan groups to terrorize them. We have no history of keeping them out of housing. We have no history of terrorizing them when they're driving their cars to go across the country, which is why black people had to come up with a green book so that we could travel safely across this country. The green book, look it up, to travel safely without being harmed by these individuals. But he says, I joined a hate group. We never asked you to join anything. We don't want you bothering us. Leave us alone. Go away. I say hip hop hooray for telling your truth, Scott Adams. I want more white people to jump out the window and tell their truth like this so we can know exactly who you are, especially when you come to us acting like you're our friend. Right, everybody? Right.
Tell the truth.
I want to say thank you, Ruby, for the $5 super chat. It is not secret that Rasmussen is a bias. Yes, they are biased. I brought that up earlier. Here, I got more for you. I'm not going to keep you all too long, but let me show you this again. Here's the article right here. You can look it up for yourself. Rasmussen polls were biased and incorrect. Here's an article right here. They're biased, incorrect, and they're spitting. It's basically a right-wing outfit pushing the narratives of what? What did I say earlier?
We will make America great again.
And making America great again, ladies and gentlemen, is a dog whistle for making America white again. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's go back to what he's saying here.
Half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me.
No, dummy. 53% of black people said it's okay to be white. 26% said it's not. But the majority of black people in the poll said it's okay to be white. So what is your problem since you claim to be a soul brother number one? Let's hear it again.
According to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them.
And guess
what? I
what?
would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
All right, let's hear that again.
To do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
All right. All right, I'll clap for that. I'll clap. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I'll clap for it. You know why? I'll clap for it because last time I checked, black people have been asking for years to be left alone, to let us develop our own communities, leave us alone. We've been asking for you to leave us alone, but you can't leave us alone. See, even though he says this, ladies and gentlemen,
Rasmussen, to this
even though
poll,
he says this,
to
listen.
And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
All right, get the F away. You heard him say that.
Tell
Good.
the truth.
Because we've been asking you to leave us alone for years. So get away from us. Any white folks out there that feel that you don't want to be associated with black people because of this poll or any poll, leave us alone. Don't move into our neighborhoods that you have contributed to pumping drugs into. With your counter, with your CIA and all that, bringing drugs. Remember, Miss Maxwell brought the CIA director to South Central LA some years ago, and they admitted that they were pumping drugs in LA, and they used that Sambo, Gumbo, Rick Ross, who I don't understand why any of us celebrate this man, because he did total destruction on his own people, selling those drugs to his own people. Didn't the FBI do a job on us with Malcolm X? Taking him out of here. If they were bugging Dr. King, there are also documents out there floating around that they were bugging and doing things to Coretta Scott King. Oh yeah. I got the documents. And I'm so happy that the daughter of Malcolm X is going to sue these alphabet outfits. We've been asking to be left alone for a very long time, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen?
Tell
But
the
they can't
truth.
leave us alone. And he thinks that he's throwing us a bone by saying to white people, stay away from black people. As if white society hasn't stereotyped black people anyway. You can't drive by being black. You can't eat barbecue by being black. When you go down the street jogging, they can do harm to you. We're seen as criminals in society. They've already have been wanting to stay away from us. When black people historically moved into neighborhoods that white people lived in, white people fled away. Why do you think that Jackson, Mississippi is in the condition that it's in with its water system and everything? Because they lost a lot of income when you had white flight. Black people moved in and you had white flight. When you look at Los Angeles, South Central area, people don't know this. And South Central used to be made up of Europeans. And when black people start moving in, they start moving out. It's a whole history book of it. Every time black people move into white communities that are outstanding, upstanding black people who just want to raise their families like anyone else, white people move out, or they try to get you, they try to kick you out. Did you all see the movie Raising in the Sun? What happened in Raising in the Sun? They were trying to buy a house in a white community, and the white folks were trying to figure out how they could keep them from buying the house and get them out of the neighborhood. So you've already been getting away from us any damn way. What's new?
Tell the truth.
And we shouldn't cry any tears over what Scott Adams said, because Scott Adams is only speaking the truth about how he feels, and there's many other people who feel just like him now that he's decided to leave the black race because he said he was black to join the white race again. So funny. Now, let's get to the next video. Check this out. Hear this one.
And I'm also really sick of seeing video after video of black Americans beating up non-black citizens. I realize it's anecdotal, and it doesn't give me a full picture.
But wait a minute. I thought that you were black. Aren't you supposed to say, I'm tired of my people beating up other groups? You see what they try to do? You've got problems in America with all race of people that get attacked by, look. Asians attack Asians. Black people attack black people. White people attack white people for the most part. All sorts of people, when they live in close proximity to each other, will attack each other if you're criminal minded. But now he wants to say, I'm tired of seeing black people. I guess he's not black anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He claimed that he was black. I'm sick of seeing black people attacking people that are other people of other races, trying to blame us for these ills in society as if we're the only ones who engage in these acts, as if white people don't engage in activities. Look at all these Karens around this country, as if white people don't engage in violent acts. Look at the black farmer in Colorado. His wife and him have been terrorized by what? By the white folks and the other racial folks in the community. You've got a Latino sheriff who took their cameras away from them so that they could see what their neighbors were doing. And that's why we should stop using that term, people of color.
Tell the truth.
Listen to this.
Of what's happening. But every damn day I look on social media and there's some black person beating the shit out of some white person. I'm kind of...
You hear that BS?
Tell
You hear that BS?
the truth.
So he says every day that he looks at the newspaper or looks at that there's a black person beating the hell out of some person, a white person. So now he's trying to say that we go around specifically attacking white people. Last time I checked, white people go around harming us too. Let's see, they usually have a badge. They usually have a car called police car. And when a black man is jogging and minding his own business, you have retired white people who will pull out their rifles and shoot us, delete us. I see he doesn't have anything to say about that. But once again, you said white people should get the hell away from us, which I think is not a problem. Do that. It might It might benefit us.
And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
Good.
Tell the
We
truth.
want you to stay the hell away from us too and leave us alone when we have our own community. Stop coming in and interfering, and stop interfering with our discussions and what we want to do. Now, let me show you what his history is. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that this man, as I put this picture up of him, do you know he was already dropped from another newspaper before he came on his YouTube channel and said what he said, and he's gone on, and he also said that black people don't value education too. Do you know that this man was already kicked out of the San Francisco Chronicle newspaper prior to all this happening? So there were people that didn't even like what he was doing. Let me put this clip up here for you. And before I do that, Mr. Eli Musk, the man that everybody makes a big deal out of because he's a billionaire. Remember, Eli Musk grew up in South Africa. He's from South Africa. What was going on in South Africa? Apartheid. How do they treat South Africans, black South Africans? They treat them poorly. He made his money. His family made their money, some of their money in that apartheid system when he grew up privileged. So he gets on his Twitter, which this has been deleted, folks, but I got it for you. Eli Musk says for a very long time, the United States media was racist against non-white people. Now they are racist against white and Asians. Give me a break. Give me a break. What racism is affecting white people or Asians? Far as we've been told, Asians are the model minorities. Asians are getting college education and going to school more than anybody else. Last time I checked, white people pretty much have everything lock, stock, and barrel economically in this country. And this is a man who's not even American. Eli Musk ain't even American. Same thing happened with elite colleges and high schools in America. Maybe they can try not being racist. Wow, isn't that interesting? Then Eli is showing more support, says this. What are they complaining about? Eli Musk deletes his tweets and reply to Scott Adams' tweets about newspapers dumping him. Yeah, he's been dumped by 300 newspapers, and he deserves it. He deserves it as far as I'm concerned. Let me bring this up to you. By the way, the latest Rasmussen Report national telephone and online survey found that 79% of American adults agreed with the statement, black people can be racist too, including 53% who strongly agreed, just 12% disagreed, and another 10 are not sure to see the survey questions and words. Now, this is the thing that's a trip about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read this to you.
Tell the truth.
Black people can be racist too. 76% agreed, 27% disagreed, right? It's okay to be white. 72% of Americans agreed in this jacked up poll. Okay, agreed. That's overall Americans. 12% disagreed. Why is he not talking about that 12% of Americans who disagreed, right? Now, 69% of Democrats agreed that it was okay to be white. 12% disagreed. Reason why it brings up Democrats, because this is a right-wing publication or poll, and the goal is to make Democrats look bad. But this is the thing. They're both the same. Democrats screw you with Vaseline, and Republicans screw you without Vaseline. Now, this is what black people said. Now, I don't know who these black people are, but check this out. Black people can be racist too. 79% Americans agreed. So I read that already, but this is what's going on with this whole situation. Now, check this out. This is Scott's tweets. This is his tweets right here. Is it racist to avoid racists who are the same race as each other, or is it only racist if the race you are avoiding are white? He just said that white people should avoid, using his logic, using this goofball's logic, that would make him now racist to tell white people to stay away from us. He would be doing the same thing to us that he's accusing black people of doing to white people. So, dude, you can't have it both ways. And you use a poll that doesn't even represent all black people. And I feel sorry for those of you out there who even enjoyed listening and reading this man's comic strips, and now he's been banned from all of these places. Now let me show you something. Let me show you something, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to really blow you away. Make sure you share this video on your social media, your community tab of your content creator. I appreciate Deborah Guns, Jill Chocolate Boutique, Agrarium Progressive, Jamming is in the house. Empress Goddess is in the house. Healthy Conscious is in the house. Thank you for being here. Let me see. What's going on? I guess you guys had to get rid of his messages in there. Vaseline, that's much. Okay, yeah, that was a troll, I guess. Thank you, mods. Now check this out. This man says that he's black, that he's down, he sees himself as a black person. Check this out. I want to play this video for you to let you hear something. Check this out. This is on Hotep Jesus. I think a lot of you know who this guy is. He has a popular podcast. Let's check this out.
We get into that. I want to ask you something. This is my own personal question. A lot of the other questions are from reading the room, seeing what people are saying.
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
What I want to know is
education purposes.
Identifying as black. When did that come about? Because that took me off. I was caught off guard with that.
Listen to this nonsense again.
How did that come about? Why'd you make that decision?
So I'm trying to remember when it was, but several years ago, I said I'm going to identify as black. Now, part of the reason was that I could. It was just an option, right? So I thought, well, that's...
You see the arrogance right there? He says, the reason why I chose to be black is because I could. It's that same saying, I'm white and I say so. Whatever they say, they can be. So if he says he's black, we can't tell him that he ain't black because he can be whatever he deems to be. He can he's like a shapeshifter. He can slide into being a white boy or a black guy. You see what he just did there? Interesting. And the host, Hotep, had to kind of laugh to himself and chuckle. But see, this is the thing that we do wrong. Why are we interviewing turkeys like this? I don't want to be disrespectful to Hotep Jesus, but I got to say, black people, why are we even wasting our time interviewing these people that think like Scott Adams? Why give them any more shine? Why ask them any questions when we already know what this is about? Would y'all agree? Hit a 1 if you agree with me. But check this out. Hear what he said again.
I'm going to identify as black.
Because I
now,
can.
Part of the reason was that I could. It was
because
just an
I
option,
could.
Right? So I thought, well, that sounds good.
Listen to that. Look, this is your white liberal, ladies and gentlemen. I can. So now the white man is telling us that he can choose to be black, he can choose what he wants because it's an option. He's saying it so casual, like he's just putting on a pair of shoes for the day, some flip-flops for the day. He's going on a vacation for the day. I'm going to be black for the day. It's crazy. But I like this because I really like hearing how people like him really think. We need to hear them tell their truth.
Tell the truth.
Of how they really feel about us.
But then I thought I could get the best of both worlds. If there's anything ever that's like, rationed by race, I can say, well, I identify as black. And if people wanted to treat me as white because they like that, they'd look at me and say, well, I think he looks white. So I thought I could get the best of both worlds, sort of a mix. But the less funny answer is that I was spending tons of time working on things that were directly for the benefit of the black community. So a lot of the things I was advocating for. So for example, a lot of people don't know that I'm left-wing. A lot of your audience is going to be confused because
That's what I was trying to tell you all. What did I say earlier in the program? Your liberals, your left-wing liberals, are just as racist as your right-wing conservatives, white conservatives. They're just as racist, if not more racist. And they think that they can talk slick like this because they think that they know us and that they can be black one day and white the other day, whatever they choose. Let's hear the rest.
The headlines are saying I'm a right-wing MAGA guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy for president, primarily because I'm a single-issue voter on fentanyl. He's pretty tough on fentanyl. But what people don't know is I'm super left-wing. I volunteered to work for Black Lives Matter, helped Hawk Newsom try to wrap.
Now, what you need to understand, folks, is that these so-called liberal Democrats like Scott Adams, they're just wolves in sheep clothing. He's going to say how he supported Black Lives Matter. Then he turned around and realized that Black Lives Matter was a fraud. So he doesn't support them anymore. But what you need to also understand is that you see how he's so arrogant in the way he claims that he's black, but you heard him in the other video say that he no longer wants to be a part of a hate group. You see, now black people in America, we're the hate group, even though we have no history, no historical history of being a terrorist group or terrorist people towards white society. But I like his honesty in what he's saying because we need to hear more like him. Come out, jump out the window and tell us how you really, really think.
Tell the truth.
Now, this is a man who claims to be a black person. You heard him say that, right? Here's his cartoon. Here's his cartoon, right? Here's another comic strip that I showed you earlier in the program, right? Now, this is what I found out. For a guy who claims that he's for the black people, I'm for the blacks. Do you know how long it took him to introduce a black comic in a black character in his comic strip, but yet he's claiming that he's a black man? It took him 36 years to introduce this black character right here. There's the date on it. Monday, May 2nd, 2022. The man's been in the cartoon business for over 36 years. Talks about that he's black and he's this and that. And it took him 36 years to introduce one black character in his comic strip. Only one. But he's supposed to be a soul brother number one. You're 36 years in the comic game, 36 years in the comic game, made a lot of money, and you don't introduce a single black character until you get to year 36. And you running around here telling everybody what a soul brother number one you are. But you don't want to be a part of a hate group because 26% of a janky poll, that's biased poll, says that black people don't think it's good to be white, even though you failed to execute the other part of the poll, which was 53% of black people said it was okay to be black. You didn't emphasize that. You emphasized the part that triggered you. And now you're saying you don't want to be black anymore. It's laughable. Because you never were black in the first place.
Tell the truth.
Y'all hear what I'm saying tonight? Let's go back in. Oh, he even had the nerve to put his 2 cents in because he's black, y'all. He even had the nerve to put his 2 cents in as it relates to the reparations issue. But this is what I wanted to show y'all too. Check this out. Check this out. This was in the Washington Post. The San Francisco Chronicle stopped publishing Dilbert in recent months after the strip that joked about reparations for slavery. So this is supposed to be a soul brother. This guy right here, see, he was already showing his racism way before he went into his rant, ladies and gentlemen. This was the San Francisco Chronicle and the Times Union. They dropped his comic because he made jokes about the reparations movement, even though he's a soul. This is way before the issue about him talking about that poll. Let me hear it. Let me say it to you right now. Let me read it to you right now. The San Francisco Chronicle stopped publishing Dilbert, that's his comic strip, in recent months after the strips that joked about reparations for slavery and inclusive workplace. Editors at the Post told the Time Union very few readers noticed when we killed it, and we only had a handful of complaints, meaning people not even reading the bullshit. Now check this out. On the comic strip where he first introduces a black character after 36 years in the game, make sure y'all share this video. It says here, management asked me to add some diversity to the engineering team. You see what he's doing here? Meet Dave. The black character that he puts in his comic strip identifies as white. You see what he's doing? He sort of made him look like what's that Sambo, Jesse Lee Peterson. Then he says, "You're running everything, Dave." You see this? And then San Francisco Chronicle stopped running his comic strip as well as the Time Union because he was making fun of reparations. Although he's telling you and me, I identify as black. I've done so much for black people. I want to be a part of a winning team. But yet, some years ago, a couple months back, San Francisco Chronicle and the Time Union got rid of his comic strip, and they said that none of the readers noticed that the comic strip was gone, meaning they didn't care about the comic strip. They weren't reading the comic strip. People wasn't with his comic strip. You see what I'm saying to you? Are you reading what's on the screen, ladies and gentlemen?
Tell the truth.
Now, let me put up the next flip, the next one, another one. Once again, from the Washington Post, this is what he said. This is what was quoted. "You should absolutely be racist." This is Scott Adams. "You should absolutely be racist whenever it's to your advantage." This is what he's saying. "Every one of you should be open to making a racist personal career decision. Most of my income will be gone by next week," because he's lost 300 papers, are not going to put his cartoon out there. He told about 3,000 live stream viewers, "My reputation for the rest of my life is destroyed." I don't care, man. You can't come back from this. I'm right. There's no way you can come back from this. But he also admitted to the New York Post that you should absolutely be racist whenever it's to your advantage, which is what they've been doing. Individuals like Scott Adams, that's what they've been doing any damn way. "Every one of you should be open to making a racist personal career decision." That's what this man right here, who wants to tell you and me that he's black. Check this out again.
A lot of the other questions are from reading the room, seeing what people are saying. But what I want to know is the identifying as black. When did that come about? Because that took me off. I was caught off guard with that. When did that happen? How did that come about? Why'd you make that decision?
So I'm trying to remember when it was, but several years ago, I said I'm going to identify as black. Now, part of the reason was that I could. It was just an option, right?
See?
So I thought, well, that sounds good.
And then he says this.
And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the
best of both worlds. If there's anything ever that's like, rationed
Fair
by
use,
race,
fair use, fair use.
I can say, well, I identify as black. And if people wanted to treat me as white because they like that, they'd look at me and say, well, I think he looks white.
To this
So
poll. That's a hate group. That's a hate group. and I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
You see that right there? And my best advice to black people right now that have heard this is don't be triggered by what he said. Take it in, analyze it, recognize that there's plenty more white liberals like Scott Adams who feel the same way. And what we want is for them to come clean and tell us how they really feel. It's liberating to know, because these are the type of individuals who go to our churches. They'll come in and do and donate money, and they'll talk blackity black, and they're for the black community, and they want to help us. And these are the people that will come around us as wolves in sheep clothing. These are the people that we look at and we bow down and say, the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. This should be what he said should be liberating, but it also should give us it should show you the psychology of the thinking, especially when he says, hey, I can be black because, hey, I can. That's a choice that I can make just like that. Black people who are biologically black, we don't have a choice. When we go out into the world, we can't turn our blackness off, because when we go out into the world sees us as black, and they may treat us such. We may experience some racism. Maybe we may experience some prejudice. We may experience some social biases towards us in some cases. We can't turn it off. I can't turn it off. But this man says he can do it because it's an option. He's got the option. Listen, the arrogance
by race. I can say, well, I identify as black. And if people wanted to treat me as white because they like that, they'd look at me and say, well, I think he looks white. So I thought I could get the best of both worlds, sort of a mix. But the less funny answer is that I was spending tons of time working on things that were directly for the benefit of the black community.
You see that right there?
Tell the truth.
Another thing I want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is I thank you all in the chat room for being here, for participating. We got Wow and Warning in the house. Mike B, Chaos, Rain is here. Y'all funny on YouTube, man. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. Anyway, let me play something for you. Now he wants to tell us. Appreciate everybody that's here though, promoting, supporting the channel. Now he wants to tell us about reparations. The Soul Brother #1. Check him out.
Real quick. That's how Thomas Sowell became a capitalist. He tried to
fair use for education, for teaching purposes,
fix minimum wage,
for criticism, fair use.
The same thing that you had. Now, you said in reparations, you ran into some weak arguments for reparations. What were the weaker arguments, and what did you think were the stronger arguments for reparations?
Well, I think the argument that's
what's going on, Phil,
or it might make things worse if it succeeded, is we're going to transfer money from people who don't think they owe it to people who think you do. Like any situation like that's just, you want to avoid.
Yeah.
So I thought.
So he wants to tell black people about our reparation plight and what we shouldn't do because you're going to take it from. I thought that you're supposed to be a soul brother #1, Scott Adams. You said that you was black, that you could interchange between being black. So you should be stock, lock, and barrel with it. But then, of course, we do have biological black people on these YouTube streets and off these YouTube streets who believe that black people shouldn't get reparations. You should stay away from black people like that.
Tell the truth.
Let's go back to it.
That there would be a clever way that both conservatives and the left and the black community would all say, okay, we weren't thinking of it that way, but that could work. And it goes like this. If you could, especially the Republicans, if they could work with the black community to focus on education, whatever that takes, some say homeschool, some say funding schools, it's probably all of that, plus teachers unions. But if they could concentrate on that one thing and just make this agreement, we're going to save the next generation of black kids, but we're going to save everybody.
Boom! Here comes the but. You know how this works, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to say the all white knowing white man wants to tell black people, we're going to give you education. Education's the key. We already know that. He also said in his rant that black people didn't value education. No, some of us do value education. But now he wants to sit up here and say, we're going to save the black youth with education. But we got to also help the other kids. Once again, they want to include everybody with our shit, right? Once again, it's this people of color nonsense. Every time black people are trying to strive for something, they want to include and crowbar other people in. No, let those people get what they got to get. Don't include them. But this is the great white hope telling us what we need to do. Check this out.
And just make this agreement. We're going to save the next generation of black kids, but we're going to save everybody who's in that situation at the same time.
Stop it right there. He put a fat butt in there, but we're going to save other people. You see this?
But we're going to do it because it's right, for reparations, et cetera. If you do it that way, then the black people who would be benefiting, at least the next generation, because it wouldn't be so useful for the current people, but the people who are part of that.
Did you hear what he just said? That it would not, reparations, his form of reparation, which is the educational component, would not be useful only for the younger generation, but not for the current generation. You see what he just did? You see what he just did there? Then he wanted to pigeon it into other people. You see the slick talk?
That would be part of something pretty great. So something I think is important as the civil rights movement. Now, the civil rights movement didn't work because only black people were protesting, right? It required a lot of white friends. So,
did you hear what this man said? The civil rights movement didn't work because it required a lot of white people. White friends. So he's simply saying the civil rights movement didn't work because black people didn't have enough white friends, and you didn't have enough white folks to save you. It's the Messiah complex. White man, come and save us. It's the Jesus effect. It's the white Jesus effect. White Jesus is going to come and save us. White Jesus has all the godly answers to our problems.
this is the perfect situation. But if we focus on how do you transfer money, I feel as if all those committees that are being formed, you know, to study it, that's how white people make a problem go away. You know, I hate to.
Now, I do agree with him. This must be his black side coming out right now, y'all. I do agree with him right here when he says making those committees to study reparations is another way for white people to make a problem go away that they don't want to pay for, they don't want to deal with. I do agree with that. Maybe that's the black side of him coming out now. Listen to this.
To tell you that's what's going on, but that is nothing but to make the problem go away. Like everybody who has any experience in a organization, a company, if you want to make it go away, just say you got to study it, form a group, right? That'll make it go away.
Yeah.
Not according to me, according to this poll. That's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, you know, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. And I'm also really sick of seeing video after video of black Americans beating up non-black citizens. You know, I realize it's anecdotal, and it doesn't give me a full picture of what's happening.
Tell information is power.
You notice that he says that he's sick of seeing videos of black people beating up other people, but he doesn't say anything about the numbers of black men and women that have been harmed by police over these years. Yet he says, I'm going to play this again. Yet he says that he's that he's black. Listen to this.
But what I want to know is the identifying as black. When did that come about? Because that took me off. I was caught off guard with that. When did that happen? How did that come about? Why'd you make that decision?
So I'm trying to remember when it was, but several years ago, I said I'm going to identify as black. Now, part of the reason was that I could. It was just an option, right?
Tell
Boom.
the truth.
He can identify with being black because he could. It was just an option. But we know as black people, being black is not an option. It isn't something that we identify with because we can. It's because it's a part of our culture. It's how we grow up. It's our biology. It's how we look. We can't interchange. You see this? This is your liberal. This is your white liberal who will come to us and say, hey, we got all the social programs for you. Come on, we're not racist. We know you're better than... No, they're just as bad as the Republican Klan. I'm not letting the Republicans off either. They're just as bad. This is nonsense. I have executed tonight a full show to show you all the inconsistencies. He comes up with a comic strip in which he waits 36 years before he introduces a comic strip with a black character in it, and he has the black character identifying as white. Now, I know it's supposed to be a joke, it's supposed to be funny, but it's interesting that that's how he chose to set this up. Interesting,
Tell
because
the truth.
he identifies as being black, but now he don't want to be a part. And guess what? I don't care if he don't want to be a part of black society, and I don't care if he wants to get away from us. Get away from us then. If that's how you feel, and any other white person out there that feels the same, good, go away. You need to leave us alone anyway. Every time we're doing our own thing, you come around, some of you come around, and you cause problems. You infiltrate. You're nosy. You're asking us too many damn questions. Any damn way. Leave us alone. Go do your own thing. You've already moved out of our communities before. You already try to redline us out of moving into your communities. You always have never wanted us. And as you're moving back into the urban environment where black people live, the communities are being gentrified and white people are moving in. And when they move in, black people get moved out. A long time ago, it was called urban renewal, and black people called it Negro removal. You see what's happening in Los Angeles, over there near where the Rams play? Inglewood, California. Black folks are going to be gentrified, and they are being gentrified out of that part of LA. White folks come in, and then you have to go, black person. So it's already been happening. He didn't say anything that was new, and we shouldn't be shocked by what Scott Adams said. We should look at it as another example of what we've already always known. We should look at it as another example that one of his compadres, Mr. Elon Musk, was on board with the nonsense. This is the man that runs Twitter, right? He was on board with it. He was down with what Scott was talking about, and many more. And guess what? I don't have a problem with it, because now it lets you know where you stand with some of these folks, how they think, and now they can't fool you when they try to come to your community and act like they're trying to be what we call a good doer for the black community. I appreciate you all. If you've gotten something out of the program tonight, ladies and gentlemen, definitely hit some sevens in there. I really appreciate you all coming over tonight, supporting the brother's channel tonight, and giving me love, showing me a lot of love tonight, because I really appreciate that.
The truth.
This is how we do it over here on the Information Man Show, where you get real content. You get a content creator, not just a YouTuber. And check this out. I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to interview people no matter how controversy they are, not are. I'm going to keep doing my show. I'm going to keep doing what my channel has been doing for a long time, which is why I'm gaining success over here, and the channel is growing steadily. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do, period. It's my damn channel. I'm going to interview who I want to interview. I'm going to talk to who I want to talk to, and I'm going to do what I got to do, because on this channel, it's called Information. We give different points of views. I'm not with the beefing with people back and forth, because that's for little kids. I'm going to do what I got to do over here. This is my damn channel. And I appreciate all of you who are supporting the channel tonight. They'll come over here and support this channel because I'm going to give you content. I'm going to interview different types of people, professional people. I'm going to have panels sometimes. I'm going to get into these type of subject matters like this. This is what I do on this channel and going to continue doing it. And with your support, the channel is only going to get better, more topics. I've got a whole bunch of other topics that I want to get into that will be controversial. Will be. And sometimes you have to be, sometimes you're going to have some controversies. And this is the thing. The way YouTube works, you can't make everybody happy. It's not my job to make everybody happy. It's my job to bring the content. And there's going to be some subject matter, some issues that you're going to like, and some stuff that you're not going to like, or that you may not agree with. And I don't have a problem with people agreeing or disagreeing with some of my points that I make. That's good. We need engagement. We need conversation around people's different points of views, but we need to have more respectful dialogue on these YouTube streets. It would be nice if we could get more respectful dialogue on these YouTube streets. It would be nice. What you think?
Tell the truth.
So if you enjoyed the program, you got something out of what I've told you, and I've put some stuff out about this guy you didn't know, hit a 7. Once again, I'm going to say it again. Prior to him going on his rant on YouTube, the San Francisco Chronicle in the Union Time got rid of him because he was talking smack about reparations. So I want to say to the Union Time and to the San Francisco Chronicle, kudos to you. I give you a clap. Thank you, everybody. Empress Goddess, Earl Owens, Just Alicia from Chicago. I know it's late out there for you. We got Jamma in the house, Health Conscious, Beverly Palmer's in the house. Make sure you all share this out. I know a lot of people that are not in the chat room tonight are probably going to watch this on the replay. Please share this with people that you may know. Other YouTubers, other content creators in their community tab. Share this in your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever social media that you enjoy. Let people know about the channel. You know that sometimes I don't always go live like during the week like this. I usually do Sundays, but every now and then I'm going to give you a program like this during the week, maybe 2 times a week. Make sure you subscribe to the Information Man Speaks podcast. I will be broadcasting over there very soon again. And check out Info Media Live. That's a channel where I teach about how to build YouTube channels and, you know, all the stuff that goes into building a YouTube presence. That's Info Media Live. It's all on this page. Check out another video if you can. I appreciate you all out there tonight. It's been a great show. But I got to tell you, folks, this man, he's got his just desserts. He's losing money. But you know he's got money stored away, so don't get caught up in it. Oh, he ain't got no money. No, he got money. But he's been taken out of 300 publications. And some of these publications probably wanted to get rid of him anyway. Get him off the payroll immediately. I think kudos to that. Once again, whenever a poll comes out, the most important questions you must ask, ladies and gentlemen, who did they poll? What part of the country did they poll? What's the age group? What's the social economics of that group? Is the polling legitimate? How did they go about polling? They claim that they did telephone polling and some type of survey. Always understand about polls and also recognize who is the people polling. Do they have a political agenda for this type of poll? These are important aspects. And I thank you. I thank you once again. I'm going to end up ending the broadcast tonight. Let me see before I go if there's anything else that I did not play for you. That I wanted to play. And I think I've done everything that I could on this subject matter. Once again, share the video. Peace to you, those who super chatted me. I appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I think we're going to get ready to get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate the audience. Those of you who've been rocking with me for a long time, those of you that are new to the channel, I want to let you know that I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the time that you take to listen to a brother speak, to share out a brother's videos, to tell people about a brother's channel. I appreciate that, because without the audience, I can't do what I'm doing here. You actually are a part of the show because you make me and give me motivation to keep talking about other issues and going over other topics. And this is what makes social media more special than mainstream media, because we talk about these issues in a way that you're never going to get anybody on mainstream media to talk about it like this. They're not going to go this deep. They're not going to have the analysis that can relate to our people. On the news, you're just going to get the regular report. They're not going to give you the cultural relevancy to these issues. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, don't feel bad that this man said this. What we should really be doing is saying, I wonder how many other white people like Scott Adams, who works with me, who lives around me, who acts like they're cool with me, how many of them feel the same way that he feels? And you know what I say to them? Speak your mind. Come on, come clean with it. We need to know so that we can know who the enemies are that are really those in sheep clothing acting like they are a supporter of the black community. We should not be surprised by this. We should not be jumping out the window crying and saying, white man Scott, why don't you love us? Please love us. The hell would it, ladies and gentlemen, the hell would it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Peace, everybody.
Tell the truth. Information is power.
AB. We got AB in the house. We got Deborah Guns, Jill's Chocolate Boutique. Thank you for being here. Mike B. Somebody else I saw in there. Did I miss anybody? Eve is in the house. The Real Hebrew. Thank you for being here. Who else did I miss? Antoine, thank you for being here. Empress Goddess. Jamming. What's going on, sister? Good to see you here. The Conscious, Mr. Cool. I appreciate all of you that are here. Thank you, Kanda. Hey, Sister Ann, thank you for coming over. I see you. Check out her channel, Earl Owens. I really appreciate all of you. You guys make me do what I do here. And here we go. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Nice.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power. Tell the truth. Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.